Alright, welcome to the first episode of the reaction series of this video by DubstepJoltik called Ranking All 75 Gauntlet Levels. This is a very high quality video. I will recommend to watch it. Link will be in the description. I'm gonna be reacting to the D tier in this video. I might count the lightning round, but I might not. It depends. There's a 20-minute time cap for each video I will make reacting. It will be way longer than 1 hour and 20 minutes in total because I will be more specific. I will add more things to the video, more of my own specific opinions, things I agree, things I disagree with. I have good opinions on these gauntlets because I am a mobile player, I forgot an iPad, and I speak Spanish, so I have a different view in the community and their opinion on these levels. I also want to say, I haven't beaten all of these, but I have beaten the majority of these. My hardest is 9 circles, in case you were wondering. So you have a pretty good idea of what kinds of levels I will have beaten. Anyways, let's watch the video. Alright. Yeah, so I'm imagining if you ever make a sequel, I do recommend you split it by installment or stream it. You can stream it. That would be also pretty interesting. And then you can make like a stream highlights if you want. It'll be pretty cool. Yeah, that's fair. It's mostly a subjective list, but it's a great video for you if you're willing to have new perspectives on these levels. So really great, really great. Fair. Again, in the description for me, you want to see this video, link will be in the description, you can go watch it. Alright, so let's go over his topics, his points, to see if I agree or disagree, and then I'll give you a little bit of my own perspective. Here we go. I mean, fair is fair. If Scarlet Search is, in your opinion, the worst level, it is the worst level. It is one of the worst levels. But I have a good perspective on that most people don't have on it. I want to share my perspective, so I will after I discuss the points and say if I disagree or agree. Yeah, I agree with this point. He's correct. It is not really controversial. The main opinion on this level is that it's not very good. Yep. Fun fact about Scarlet Surge's name: it's pretty creative because Scarlet is red and Surge is like it comes out of nowhere. So the red Surge is from the black background, which is cool, and it is an experimental level. So I agree with the point so far. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so I also make layouts, so I'm familiar with gameplay and how to make fun gameplay, good gameplay, and types of different gameplay. So I have something to say about this, which I'll say later. But for the most part, with what he said here, I agree. There's just something I'd like to add about it.
Like, some parts have movement, but they still feel weirdly stagnant. No other level has made me feel as bored of playing it as this one.
Yeah, I do agree with that somewhat, but I do find it to have like its own charm because of the way it's kind of stagnant. I'll explain it better after he goes over to his topics, so I can say it all in one go. And I'm not saying, oh, I find it better, it's charm. I know the word charm is kind of banned from the community because people don't like it. People are saying, this level has charm, even though it's bad decoration, bad gameplay, you should like it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I have a different take on it, and for the most part, I do agree it's stagnant, but there's something else to it, which I will explain.
But it's still
I find it rather fun though. Okay, my opinion on Scarlet Surge. I do agree with almost everything said here. The only thing I don't agree with is somewhat the gameplay statement. But yeah, the decoration is good, the theme is not consistent, I agree with those things. But my opinion on it, I find Scarlet Surge is great in its gameplay. I wish it wasn't so repetitive and it was more varied. But if you notice the gameplay in Scarlet Surge, it is simple. Now, simple and repetitive are different things. You can be simple and varied, and you can be complicated and repetitive. But it's simple, which I really appreciate because these days levels are just jam packed with so much stuff, and it really felt great to be able to play a long level that is simple and you can beat it. You can play in practice. There's not a lot to it. It's just beating the level. Some people find it tedious, but I found it pretty fun because I didn't like most levels that were too spammy or fast or complicated. Now, it is very repetitive, which I agree. It could be more varied, and that would make it a lot better as a level, but it isn't. But yeah, I just wanted to say that about the gameplay. Simple gameplay is underappreciated these days, and it's very important for the player, especially in easier levels.
Number 77, Vibration.
Alright.
So, unlike Scarlet Surge, this level doesn't really have any artistic merit.
Yeah,
it's basically
it does
just a
not.
do whatever you want style of mega collab among 4 people.
Correct.
And while I don't have any problem with those sexually, it's really important to try and balance them afterwards so they don't feel miserable to play.
I beat this level and it has terrible balancing. He's correct. Everything he's saying is accurate so far.
And that didn't happen for this level. Every part is a different level with a different style and difficulty.
Yeah, exactly. It's pain to play. If you want to beat by version, I'm telling you, practice it, practice it, practice it a lot, and then after you practice it, take a break, and then next time you come to Yamaha Dash, do it in one session. Try to beat it in one session because it's not something you want to come back to. Like you don't want to have multiple sessions trying to beat it. Just beat it in one session because it's really, really annoying to play. I low-key like for the Funky session though, because I find the UFO be pretty fun. But every other session is really bad. He's correct. That's accurate. And bugs. I died twice the same bug on this level when trying to beat it. It has very annoying bugs. Very annoying bugs. Yeah, fair. So my opinion in general is wait. My opinion on vibration in general is exactly what he said. As someone who beat it, I find the level to be very annoying. It has very annoying timings. It's very buggy. It's very unbalanced. The only remotely fun part is further Punky's part, which I think he acknowledges here, because this is actually for the Punky's comment here. And yeah, his gameplay is pretty good. It's pretty decently fun. But the rest of the gameplay in this level is awful. The decoration is okay, but it's very, very mid. Very, very mid. Very mediocre. So yeah, I agree with the placement here. This could probably be the worst level in the Gauntlet. For me, it would probably be because I don't dislike Scarlet Surge that much. I think it would be C tier, not D tier for me. Anyways, next level.
That explains that. Number 76, Crystal Essence. I don't think this. Oh, wait, oops, wrong level. Number 76, Crystal Fusion. Come up with better names for your level. This forgotten mess of a level.
To say it's really impressive. The compilation is all accurate. It's been a pain. I really respect that. So yeah, really, really impressive. Go. Just a reminder, if you want to watch the video yourself without any interruption, which I recommend you do before watching this video, go to the description. The link will be there. His content is great. Go subscribe to him. He only had about 300 subscribers, which is criminal for this kind of content, this kind of high quality editing and content and commentary. He also has a pretty good upload schedule from what I've seen of his channel, and he is innovative. He is original. So go go to his account, go to his channel, go to DubstepJoltik's channel, and subscribe to him if you like his content. Which, if you're watching this video and you're still watching, I assume you do. So before you continue, promise me you'll go to his channel right now. 3, 2, you did? Okay, let's go. Again, the amount of effort this guy must have put into researching each individual level is really insane. Because he actually checked the guy's account and then he was like, "Oh, they make pretty good content. They make pretty good levels now," which is a shame. Let me add that in. It's just something that most people wouldn't think of, and it really shows this guy is willing to go the extra mile, and that's really impressive.
But in hindsight, I think this level was honestly kind of lucky to be overshadowed by Crystal Essence, because this is possibly the worst gameplay out of all the 5-star levels.
Yeah, the gameplay is abysmal in this level.
It's such claustrophobic and awkward gameplay that tries way too hard to match the rhythm of the song. It goes for all the high notes, but to do that, it throws a lot of orbs and jump pads uncomfortably close together.
Okay, gameplay 101. If you want to make sync, it should be in either only one part, or it should have decent spacing. If the song has a lot of fast parts, I prefer to go with theming sync rather than actual click sync. Because theming sync is like stuff like pulses in the background. Stuff like when the icon hits a block, like those slab falls that when that happens, that's theme sync. That's what I call it. Theme sync is better for things like that. You do not want to have click sync like this because it's really bad. It's really unfun. So yeah, this probably has the worst gameplay. I agree with the sentiment. Everything is correct and accurate. I would call it a visual mess. I would more think it's like a visual clutter because it's pretty organized. It's just not clear what you're supposed to do. So it's like more of a clutter than a mess.
And one of the worst things you could do in a level that's trying to have a theme and build an atmosphere is to separate parts with not just fade transitions, but fade transitions that just don't cover the right half of the screen.
Yeah. It's just it should be pretty obvious not to do this. I'm surprised this even happened, but I mean back then people didn't really have that much of original ideas of how to fix it. Just they didn't make good transitions as we do now, and it wasn't that much of a standard. So yeah, I understand how it slipped by, but still, it's really weird how that actually managed to get into a Gauntlet level. I find myself, uh, I find that it's weird, at least for me. Yeah. All right. Oh boy, I'm gonna have a field trip with this level. I'll talk about it more after we finish these points. But yeah. Spoiler alert. When levels do this, it means that the person is not willing to adapt or update the level because they feel like the criticism is something that they do not agree with. Sometimes it's okay because the criticism is unjustified, but sometimes, and most of the time, it is justified. So doing this is usually not a good sign. It means that you're a lazy playtester, and that's not good. Even if you can make epic decoration, something that has a lot of bugs will end up being annoying anyway.
Anyway, this level is really annoying overall, but it actually has a pretty decent setup. It has like a motivational atmosphere to it, and it does a good job of hyping up the player before the drop. But really, this level falls apart once the actual drop hits. Granted, it's honestly not even that long, and it changes to a UFO at one point, but straight line through messy air decoration with some sublanes that kill the player and some that don't is not good gameplay design.
I'm honestly struggling to find the things to say because this video just covers so many topics and it's just so accurate. It's so on point that there's very little for me to say. I have to often rely on the knowledge I have on gameplay and the knowledge I have on the Spanish community and the mobile community. And sorry if I keep referring to that. It's just because the video is very well researched, it's very well done, and you can tell there's a lot of effort put into it. So sorry if I'm struggling to find new things to say. I'm trying to say that because I feel like I'm being too repetitive here. So I'm gonna try to spice things up as much as I can. But this video is incredibly well researched. It's pretty difficult to actually make a reaction video without just repeating the same things he says.
And then the last part just has so little energy, even though it's still in the fast part of the song, which is probably the worst way you could end such a high energy level. And, I mean, it's not the kind of level I would expect to put in the bottom four off the top of my head, and I do like the beginning, but then I play the whole thing again, and because there's so many bothersome little things about the level, I always feel like shit when I beat it again.
Okay, something I noticed you didn't mention is that this section is, in particular is hated by the mobile community because if you come flying, right? You come flying like you, and then you're gonna fall, right? And you're like, oh, let me adjust myself. So then you tap up, right? So you don't hit this spike here. This ball in the middle of nowhere. The first time playing it, even if you were an expert straight flyer in mobile, which is pretty hard to come by, but my point is, even if you were having your best straight flyer in the entire world, if you don't see the ball transition coming, which most people usually don't in the first attempt they get to the drop, you will die to the spike. It is very, very annoying. Like, you will straight up die just because you were trying to fly. You didn't see. There's no indication. It's very annoying. People don't like it in the mobile community. But in general, I agree. The setup of this level is really great, and it's weird compared to the actual drop. Because it feels like the drop gameplay is almost rushed, it feels like. Because it's just shit gameplay, and then with full gameplay. And it's like, oh, let's spice things up with that. You have like a ball transition here, just so it doesn't get too boring. But it still feels rushed in a way. Even though the drop is the most important part, it just feels like, oh, let me just add this little glow line so it doesn't look weird. I find that it feels rushed. The beginning feels balanced in the gameplay, so that's something I wanted to say there. Anyways, next level.
Speaking of shit, number 74, Vulgarity. That was supposed to be a pun on the name of the level and not the quality, but to be fair, I could kind of understand how you could make that mistake.
Comedy in this channel is really good. I didn't laugh because, spoiler alert, I've been trying to record this video like multiple times already because I cannot edit the video. So, there have been multiple fail attempts. But I laughed at this for like 3 or 4 times straight. And it was actually something I considered stopping the video for, or like deleting the file for, but ended up deleting it for something else. Anyway, let's continue.
This level purposefully breaks up its own flow by using teleport transitions, really often for no real reason.
Yeah,
When Crystal Leadership was doing it, it was to separate visually distinct parts, but Vulgarity just does it for actually no reason.
the fact he has nothing else to say about this level, and neither do I honestly, just shows how mediocre and like almost like factory made this level comes off. Like there's not even that much charm into it. It's just like basic 2.0 decor 2.1, 2.0, 2.1. I'm sorry, the basic 2 point something decoration into a level. It doesn't even feel that much organic. There's not a lot to say besides what he already said. But it's just such a generic level that it deserves to be the D tier, nonetheless.
Well, in the first half at least. The second half is just this for like 30 seconds. Oh, and now that we're actually at one of these extra levels, I can finally explain why 15 times 5 apparently equals 78.
Okay. Hahaha, here's the thing. I'm not gonna put this in the video because this is gonna waste some time. So if you still haven't watched the video, then you're gonna have to watch the video because you're gonna have the lingering feeling of mystery because you won't know why it equals 78. If you want to know the actual explanation, let me just show this to you. You can read this. Take your time to read this if you want. If you want to know the actual explanation, you can go watch the video and link in the description.
Victim. I said this at the beginning of the video. I think there's beauty in simplicity. Simple levels can still be very interesting and good looking if they have a good atmosphere, but this level just doesn't feel like anything.
I kind of disagree because Victim is actually a level that stands out a lot for me. I'm not sure why, But I was really confused when there was like a spike gauntlet, and Victim just showed me basically what it's gonna be like. Actually, I like Victim quite a bit. I think it will be C tier for my list. I don't know if I'm biased towards it. I don't have no idea why I like it. I just do, I guess. It's weird. But I do agree. It doesn't feel very special. I personally feel like it has a specific meaning for me. I don't know what that meaning is, but I like it. But I do understand why most people do not have that kind of thing, because it just I can see where you're coming from. Is what I'm gonna say.
It has kind of a happy song and some smiley face blocks, but the color scheme is just desaturated and ugly.
Probably
And
trying
I
to go
don't
for
like how
like
the
the
arrows look
transparent
like
block
spikes, and a
gimmick.
lot of the auto parts are way too long. I mean, this level isn't annoying to play at least, which is the only reason it's not in the bottom spot, but it's just an empty, lifeless level. It sounds like I'm breezing through these levels, and I honestly am, because, well, they're just boring, and I'd much rather talk about the levels and do really cool things.
I mean, that's the bad thing about doing a tier list. You have to talk about the bad levels first, and then the good ones. But yeah, that's pretty much the video for now. Next section is the lightning round. So next video will be that. I don't have a lot of time to put these videos out, but hopefully this is good enough, and hopefully I didn't pass 20 minutes. But I don't think I was. I'm probably like 15 minutes in, maybe like 18 at most. But yeah, I'm gonna save this file now. I'm gonna upload it. So yeah, thanks.